What's up, everybody? You're tuned into Lando Radio. This morning, we're here at Trend Studios in Fort Worth with Chandler Cooper, multi-hyphenate. Shoot, you may know him as SBPP2. You may know him as an incredible musician. But today, it's just an honor to hang with you, man.
Dude, likewise, man. I appreciate being on the Lando Radio.
Yeah, bro. Let's go. You're tuned in. Chandler, first, how we doing, bro?
Dude, I'm great. I just realized I stuck out my tongue after drinking some coffee. If it's yellow, I brush my tongue. So I want to let you guys know that.
I believe it. You brush your teeth. We're not concerned about that.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure is your music's killer, man.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. For the people who may know you for your content, for your music, it's crazy. I've seen a lot of people in the comments that don't know that you kind of do both.
Yeah, that's been the hardest part is like I have to try to pitch. So I kind of rely on, I started YouTube in 2009. When I was 10 years old, and Vine came out, and I started having some success on Vine because I was just following the formula that I'd learned through social media, and I transferred over to Musical.ly and then to TikTok, and the whole goal the entire time has been the music stuff. But I always tell people, I'm like, I just fell in love with marketing, But I rely on videos that go viral. Then as soon as they go viral, my page gets some attention. I start just flooding with music, and then making some more, videos that could go viral. And I think the transition has been pretty good. But yeah, it is interesting seeing people like, I'll sing in a comedy sketch. People are like, wait, he can sing? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use your comment as bait right now. You know what I mean? So
it's smart. You've clearly got marketing down. It's really cool to watch, and as a creator, I'm taking notes as well.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, man. But let's get right into the music, bro.
Cool.
Man, your music, you talk about real stuff. You're talking about heartbreak. You're talking about life stories.
Yeah.
How would you describe your music?
It's I don't know. That's always a tough one. What kind of music and how I describe my music? I think that the thing that makes the social media different from the music is I feel like the social media I do, and it's fun, it's lighthearted, and then the music that I make, it's kind of my duality. I feel like the big pitch in the room that I'm not in. So like behind the scenes, the big pitch is I make funny content. And then I feel like my music is a peek behind the curtains of what's going on. So like in 2021, I made my project called I Got Dumped, Here's an EP, LOL. And I made that while homeless I was like 5-6 months in Los Angeles, couch surfing, completely dead broke, making this album. And I was making just crazy comedy videos and like not getting paid for them because at that time TikTok wasn't really paying like that. So I'd make all these like crazy videos that would go viral. And then when people heard the music and the album was called I Got Dumped, Here's an EP, LOL, it was strategic because it's kind of a funny title. And people were like, I'll give it a listen. And then it's like, oh, you pay attention to me because you need the laugh. And then the music is more like, well, let's talk about why we need the laugh. So I think that's kind of the big thing is if you watch my TikToks, you get a full look at me and the way my humor is and, how crazy I can get. And then you listen to the music and you're like, oh, that's what it is. The music is, it's a deeper look at why I'm funny. Why I do funny things, I feel like.
And you've got different media to convey a certain message or a feeling and whatnot.
Yeah.
In your music, you talk about real stuff, life experience. You're the EP, I Got Dumped, so here's an EP, LOL. How, there's a lot of story in that. How do you go about like putting your story, your personal experience on the record like that?
Basically, I knew what I wanted to portray, which was I wanted to make an angry hip hop album. And that's what I wanted to do. I was going through a breakup and I was angry, and we started making this song called New Chevy. And I'd previously made a song called Drunk on my computer, and in that it was like a little freestyle. I'm just kind of mumble rapping throughout this Eric Godlow beat, and then I say I'm okay, but I'm not, but I swear everything's gonna be alright, and I know that you lied when you told me, girl, I was just your type. And so that ended up creating New Chevy. And then when I in the first session with Jaden Gray. Shout out to Jaden Gray. Always got to give this vouch because Jaden Gray's he's a maniac.
With the Grays,
With
right?
the Grays, yeah, dude, the Grays. I love the Grays, dude. I'm obsessed. And but yeah, we made that project together. Except for one song, but it is what it is. But New Chevy, we made that together, and I was like, I can't do an angry hip hop album. I need to go back to the drawing board, which I'm a big fan of going in with an idea and just surrendering to the craft, as corny as that may sound.
But it's real.
That's like what I pride myself in. And I was like, ooh, this is like a great sample of like of acceptance. And so I kind of worked backwards a little bit, going through like a breakup, and I kind of worked backwards, just kind of this projection. I say I'm okay, but I'm not, but I swear everything's going to be all right, which was previously written. But anyways, make the long story short with it, I decided I was going to sample this video. I documented all these like mental breakdowns I had, and I was going to sample this mental breakdown where I just said I need to get home, and then I wanted to end it with I need to get home. And that was like an idea I had in the session for New Chevy. And I was like, well, that's acceptance. And so working backwards, I just went using each genre that I did on the project. I decided to use that to express which stage of the grieving process I was in at the time I was in it. So if you listen to I Got Dumped, Here's an EP, LOL, it's 15 minutes, it's 5 songs, and it goes from He's About to Start, which is denial. I say, why would God make your body for me to watch it walk away? And then acceptance with, I say I'm okay, but I'm not, but I swear everything's going to be all right. And then we got anger, bargaining, depression. We have, depression with eye to eye, bargaining with rent free, and anger with obviously away from me, my big boy, the big beast of a song.
Just stay
away from me. I love how we both just we did the drums for the guitar.
Yeah, bro, it's just a beautiful way of conveying it. I like it.
But yeah, so I just decided to do that, add skits and add some vulnerability into it, and it created the project, and it's way better than an angry rap album. It's there's a lot of heart into it, and that's kind of what that's what the music is. That's what those songs are. I needed the project, and that's about it for that.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
And New Chevy specifically on that, I know you've talked about that being like a cathartic song to make.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. I know it's based on a breakup.
Yeah. So New Chevy is basically the story of this girl I was seeing had a New Chevy. She totaled it, and she bought a cash car. And she made enough money, and one day she was just talking to me, and she always talked about how much she missed her Chevy. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you just buy a new Chevy? And she says, this is the real story behind it. So I was like, why don't you just buy a new Chevy? And she goes, because that's the only nice thing I've ever had. And I told myself, if I ruin it, I'll never let myself have something nice again. I said, so you're in a position now where you're not being like actively, punished or abused by anyone. So you've taken it upon yourself to punish yourself and make rules for yourself and, whatever. And she was like, I never thought of it like that. I am doing that. And I was like, yeah. And so she was like, fuck it. Am I allowed to cuss?
Absolutely.
Fuck it.
Yeah, bro.
She was like, fuck it. Then I'm going to go get a new Chevy. So she bought a new Chevy. And shortly after we broke up, a new Chevy is about having something beautiful, losing it, getting it back. The Chevy.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that kills you. So that's why it's hit me with your car, so they can't call it suicide. It's having something beautiful, losing it, getting it back. It's the thing that kills you. It's a goodbye. It's the acceptance. And it's funny too, because I was with Jaden Gray, and he was like, oh, what if we did something like ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da in your new Chevy? He goes, obviously I'm not going to say in your new Chevy. That'd be stupid. And I was like, no, dude, my mind just starts. Damn. And I was like drunk at the time, and I was like, dude, I got it. And so I just like conceptualized this song, and that's up until this project that I'm working on now, that New Chevy was my proudest work, and I knew it wasn't going to be a single. And looking back, I should have maybe given it a little bit of a single treatment, but I'm like, hey, I'll just spend the next couple of years pushing it down everyone's throat. You know what I mean? That works too.
Yeah.
Here's my hidden gem. I swear to God, it's hidden.
Put more people onto it.
What up, Gavin? This is my boy Gavin right here. It's my boy Gavin. Gavin's
up,
with
Gavin?
Apartment 75. I love this guy.
What's up, Gavin?
Love that guy.
Heck yeah, man. So you put Away From Me was the big single off that, right?
Yeah.
And then New Chevy, it's a trip how Jaden Gray pitched that in your New Chevy, and it hit.
Yeah, that was one of those like instant moments of we're hitting lightning in a bottle right now. Which is he's pretty good at that. I'm pretty quick at figuring out where the lightning is being caught with Jaden Gray. He's a madman at what he does. Productions wise, and he can just freestyle a melody that'll make you want to punch a hole through a wall. You're like, how did you do that? He's like, I don't remember what I did. He's one of those, but yeah.
Yeah, so actually going into the studio and singing about, that real experience like New Chevy, is there any part of you as an artist that's like, has that hesitancy to put it out in the public for like critique or whatever? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I didn't realize at the time, because I wasn't pushing music under this persona of the Chandler Cooper of
Yeah.
I wasn't pushing music yet. And I didn't realize I thought it was going to be one of those storybook endings. I make the album and then it's huge and, I walk off into the sunset. I thought it was going to be something I thought it was going to be a lot easier. But as soon as I came out the gates with the first single to the project, which was Eye to Eye, I kind of got beat to my knees a little bit. Eye to Eye is a very dark, ethereal pop record where I express the exact flow of consciousness that happens when you're so depressed that you can't eat and you're starving. Yeah. And it's like trying to enter the journey of self-love when your mind is like, no, we don't love ourselves, eye to eye. So I can't even feed myself. Can I just be myself again? It's like the big climax of the song, and it hits multiple times. And I released it and people were like, this is ass. And I was like, wait, what? This is like a pop hit. This is like the first single to the album.
Yeah.
And they were like, you sound like you're trying to be like a White Weekend or Walmart Weekend or Weekdays, but missing the A in Weekdays, which I thought was that was a funny one. But
yeah, it's creative.
Pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty good. But I remember just being so devastated and having this project, and I was like, oh, people are going to hate this. And out the gate, I got some hate for it. People hated it. And then more people started to like it. And the more people hated on it, the more people started to like it. Then I released Away From Me, and people were like, now you can't say the Weekend thing. Now we don't know what's coming with this project because they're so separate. Away From Me is like a pop punk, kind of angry. In the music video, there's like blood on the walls and, things like that. So
that music video is elite, man.
Dude, thank you. Yeah, Damian Belden, Davian Cerna, Jojo Sojos. We made that in California. Directed by Davian, and it was super dope. But yeah, I love Away From Me. Away From Me was kind of almost satire in the beginning. I was working with my buddy Nate, who I don't know when this will come out, but by the time it come out, he might have changed his name. But his name is The Prophet on the song, but he's changing his name to Kaseve. And
the guy with the bandana.
Yeah. So we made that together in his bedroom. But yeah, dude, it's definitely different from my other stuff. Hey, Linda. Hey, Johnny Bones.
Hey guys.
That's Apartment 75 entering. I love those guys, dude.
Shout out
Apartment 75, dude. That's APT 75, man. You love these guys.
Hey, man.
But yeah, so that's basically sorry, I got off track a little bit. It was hard to put it out there. New Chevy is, at the time I explained it, which I still agree with it, with the immediate sample of me crying and stuff. It's a pretty instant soul-bearing record. So it was hard to put it out. Once I had New Chevy, I became like almost paternal over it. I was like, I have to get off my phone while driving.
Yeah.
And I need to really lock in because I need this song to come out. And I need to, it was so important to me. It was more important than it was scary for New Chevy, I feel like. but yeah, it was the first time that anything I'd ever created made me feel paternal, which was interesting. But yeah, that first project was nerve-wracking to put out, and I always get a little bit of anxiety before I put out a single because I want to see, and I just kind of obsess over it and see how it's being received, and that's how that goes. And the project was no different, except the project I was like popping champagne and like just trying to ignore that part. Right. And having listening parties on TikTok Live and just kind of going in and mansplaining my music, so.
Sometimes to break it down for the people, as long as you don't put it in the perspective, this is the Chandler main mansplain,
Yeah.
But like if you break it down for the people, I think they appreciate it. It gives more perspective. It's kind of what we're trying to do here, like put a little more POV on it. But you talked about in the Music You're Missing podcast, shout out Brendan
Janetti.
Man, great interview, great chat.
He's awesome.
And you talked about, you saw something at some point on Instagram where like a lot of people don't put their music on Spotify.
Yeah.
Because they're concerned about the perfecting of it all. Yeah. And I've experienced that as a creative, and I'm sure at some point a lot of artists have, but was that ever something like, how did you get over / battle that perfectionist maybe in you?
I think the thing is having people around me that are not yes men is a big thing. So I'm definitely not a good enough artist. I'm one of those that I'm like, when I release things, as my taste changes over the course of time, I always come back and look at it and think, I should have done this differently. In hindsight, I should have done this. In hindsight, I shouldn't have done that. But in reality, at the time when I was like 22, 23 making this last project, it was the best I could possibly do. And I didn't have my ear wasn't as tuned as it is now. And so, but I think a big thing with me is I'm also kind of like my biggest fan. I'm like my own biggest fan. So if I'm like, hell yeah, this is sick. I seek out making the music that I haven't heard before. I seek out listening, like, we were talking about this earlier. If I'm like listening to music on my own, it's always rap. I'm only listening to rap. I love pop. I have a big appreciation for pop, and I make pop music, but I make the pop music that I want to hear. And that's where I think I stand out a little bit differently from artists. As my taste changes, like there's an artist, she doesn't know me, but her name is Devin Again, and she really hits that mark. She's a pop artist who really hits that mark. I'm like, oh, this is what I want to hear, and Devin Again is super dope. But yeah, for me, I just kind of, I'm down to release as long as I'm in love with it, and as long as I have people around me who will say, that snare sounds, like in this mix, this snare sounds like too crunchy, or this snare sounds like too 8-bit, so it needs to be, whatever. And so once I have people around me who I value their input and I listen to them, I just kind of, that's really about it. I just love my music that I make because I make the music that I want to make. Yeah.
And having people around you who you value their opinion makes all the difference.
Totally, 100%. And so that's, I don't have a lot of problems pushing stuff out because I'm pretty good at mix notes too. That's like one of my things. I'm pretty good at telling people what I need. So I don't have a lot of post anxiety. I just have a lot of anxiety the day before where the song's about to come out, and I know it's about to be received. And like my new single, Nauseous, I put myself in a position, which was kind of funny, but I put myself in a position where I pitched Nauseous to a meme page that only posts bad music.
Okay.
This is my new song. It's a very against the grain pop record, very like artsy piece. And
which I love, just real quick, I love Nauseous, by the way. So
thank you, yeah. Yeah, but I pitched that to like this meme page, and they posted it. They're like, dude, I love this song, but yeah, we'll post it. Like, because I farted on the internet one time.
Pardon.
I'm really sad. Pardon. Hey, good night. And so I posted that, and they're like, yo, you're the fart guy. Like, of course we'll do that, but the song's great. And I was like, okay, thanks. But they posted it, and turns out when there's a meme page that posts bad music, people follow it because they like to hate on bad music. So I just got roasted about that song, but I was like, oop, but yeah, that's always like worst case. I'm always so nervous about how it's going to be received because my music is like to me, it's soul bearing. Like there's no way around it. I'm literally, my deepest and darkest thoughts that are in the back of my head are at the forefront in the music. It's like my subconscious that's always sitting there lurking and telling me things is just out. And so it is nerve-wracking to, with the comedy. Sorry, I'm making these answers pretty long.
No, I love it, man. I think just the full picture is really important.
Yeah, with the comedy, if people don't like it, well, people aren't always going to like all comedy, right? With music, people aren't always going to like all music. But when I'm so deeply personal in the music, and you hate the song because you hate the lyrics or you hate whatever, I have a little problem with. I say a little problem because it is little. I have this little problem with. I feel like it's a direct attack at me when I show a friend like this song sucks. I'm like, well, this song is all of me, So, but yeah, that's like a problem I have before the songs really. Are you trying to get in, Cooper?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Interrupt you.
No, you're good, bro. You're good.
I think that's all part of just being an artist. And I think, and the more I've tried practicing this, like not taking criticism so personally.
Yeah.
I think it's a practice, and so I would say it's less of a problem, more of just a natural artist feeling. You're definitely not alone in feeling that, I would say. Like creatives across the board.
Totally.
And Nauseous, bro, that was an awesome track, and a couple questions in this.
Sure, yeah.
One, you've got the opening little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change.
Yeah. No, don't change. Yeah.
Was those voices are all you, right?
Those are me. Yeah, those are from. In 2009, I started my YouTube channel, and I will never say the name of this YouTube channel because I might want to use it for another album. No, but it's a YouTube channel, and it's physically, the video is me like 11 years old, and I'm like learning how to become a creative, and I got tired between takes of changing the outfits because I didn't know about doing one take and then cutting it. I was so little.
Yeah, dude.
So I decided just to change into the same shirt, and so that's what the I'm gonna change, no, don't change thing is. It's like physically changing a shirt, but I decided to use that as an example of like the inner battle and the inner child of myself working as my conscience on the journey to Los Angeles from the small town of Cleburne, Texas. And so I was like, that felt so important to me to be like, I close my. I'm going to change. No, don't change. I close my eyes. I open them in Hollywood,
Right.
And that the whole time, the narration of that is my inner child. And it's just navigating like, here's the industry I love. Here's it beating me to my knees. And here's how the people from Cleburne are telling me, like trying to beat me down. Like I always said that like my superpower is being super unrealistic.
Yeah.
And all of those things, because like I didn't have connections in California. I do not come from money. I'm not like a Nepo baby. So I had to go out there and just kind of like find my footing. And I went out there with some buddies of mine, some old buddies. And, but all the time I would graduate high school and I would go out to California, and people from Cleveland would go, well, you need to go to college because you're not going to make it as a little singer. You're not going to make it as a little actor. You're blah, 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 blah. And so it always annoyed me, and so that's my inner child kind of having its demons and battling with itself throughout the whole thing. And it's like, fine, I'm going to change. No, don't change. Fine, I won't change. I'm just going to look like a loser. I already look good enough as it is. I look perfect. And it's like, it's these things of me like needing to change to adapt, because there's like that whole thing where it's like, there's this meme picture of like these two caterpillars sitting there, and then they're sitting with their friend who's a butterfly, and it's just so lame. But
yeah,
they're sitting with their friend's a butterfly, and they go, "You've changed," and he goes, "We're supposed to." And so that's kind of what that is. It's like trying to navigate how I can keep my inner peace and also pursue the arts. And the entertainment industry is so transactional in the way of like, it's a machine that needs to be fed, and then once you feed it, they don't need it anymore. And so that's kind of, they take what you have what they've needed.
Oh,
so,
dude.
So,
continue.
Yeah, and then like for the first part, it's take what I have what I've needed. Like, I have everything I've needed to get to this point. You can take everything I have, and I will still be able to do this. And then at the end, after they take what you have what they've needed. It's about feeding the machine and, kind of getting beat to your knees. And that's what Nauseous is about.
So it's a real story. So those were real sound bites from your childhood.
Yeah.
You got creative. I'm going to ask I definitely want to ask about, your inspirations and what started the creative process.
Yeah.
But Nauseous, the album cover is it's Nauseous in the Hollywood Hills, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of tells a story about your experience in LA.
Yeah. So the cover art for Nauseous, I have this buddy named Ryder. His name's just Ryder Art, and we've been talking about doing stuff together for a long time. And then finally, I was like, "Hey, I have a single coming out. Would you like to draw the single?" He's a tattoo artist in Utah, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'd love to. Tell me what you want." And I started explaining to him. I was like, "Well, here's a song, and I want Easter eggs from all of it. Like, I want there to be like little bits and drops and like things for the project." And so there's like not a park bench, like a bus stop bench. There's a phone that's off the hook. Hang up on my friends. And there's like a 6-pack of alcohol. And it's because I drink till I'm out my mind, and Nauseous in the Hollywood Hills. And it's, so it's a piece that, it's just, and there's like a little Easter egg. There's some hidden stuff on there that when the project starts dropping, the rollout starts beginning, you'll go, oh, there's like a little breadcrumb trail of cool stuff. Like the acronym or the first letter of each word from the album titles in it is in Nauseous, and so it's pretty cool. It's really cool. Ryder crushed that.
Shout out Ryder, bro. That's a badass cover art.
It's really
man.
sick.
Yeah. Dude, just the production on that track was badass, man. I felt like it was when you have your headphones on or you're bumping it, like it felt so high quality. Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah, Jaden Gray crushed the production on that. For the gang vocals, it was me, Jaden, and his brother Silas of the Grays, Silas Gray. And then it was mixed and mastered by a guy named Barry Rashawn, and he's a madman at engineering, so it was really dope. It's a dope record. I'm very proud of that record. That was one of those, like, I've been trying to figure out what sound I wanted to go with, and Nauseous was such a unique piece that I was like, this needs to be at the forefront. I've been gone long enough that I need to have something that's going to be so different that people are just going to love, and I feel like Nauseous was definitely that move.
No doubt. And speaking of the creative process and whatnot, you in the song talks about take advice from all of my friends.
Yeah.
I'm totally butchering the line, but advice. Take advice from all of my friends.
I take all my friends' advice. I'm still self-conscious.
Come on, yeah. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's weighed in as a creative. Like we've all been there. You'll take all your friends' advice. You'll think it's the right advice, but until you really start listening to yourself, that's kind of inspired it, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely, because I take all my friends' advice. I'm still self-conscious. I drink till I'm out my mind, wonder why I'm nauseous. That's kind of, John Bellion has that song Human, where it's like, I spent $4,000 on the Marty McFlys, but I'm so petrified of going broke. Someone gorgeous in my bed tonight, but I'm so petrified I'll die alone. This is that. I drink till I'm out my mind, I wonder why I'm nauseous. I take my friend's advice and I'm still self-conscious. It's like that, and I do it again. I'll hang up with my friends just to call them again. And, that's, so that's what nauseous is. It's definitely that, like, trying to seek validation and trying to get help from people, and like nothing helps because you're having to find your footing and find yourself. I can take all my friends' advice all I want, but I'm still going to be a self-conscious person because I'm feeding this machine, and this machine is ruthless. And it's just interesting out the gate to not be super involved in the music industry and just already be flipping the rock.
Dude, that's the way to do it, man.
That's what nauseous is, Every piece of nauseous is subjective, but I'm not gonna let it be subjective. I'm gonna tell it all. I love doing that, dude. I love, people are like, well, you meant it like this, or I'm like, nah, I meant it like this,
Good for you to say it. Some artists take a different perspective, like Childish Gambino. He'll never speak on like what the music he puts out is about and whatnot, but you're very clear about.
I love to mansplain.
Hey man, chansplain it, bro.
Dude, that's it now.
Let's patent it, bro.
Let's do it, dude. You get 50%.
Heard that. You saw it. Let's see. So was that written while you were out in LA?
Yeah. Me and Jaden made that in a session. It's funny, Nauseous began, all those songs, I'd never really recorded in a studio until Nauseous. but we recorded all of that stuff in his kitchen, Eye to Eye, Nauseous, all of it was just in his kitchen in like a booth, like a little booth or whatever. And you know, it's cool as hell. But yeah, we made that in LA. The concept of the album was written before, and Nauseous coincidentally fit exactly with the concept of the album. Like, to a T is the concept of the album. We were just kind of spitballing, and I was like, let's make something nostalgic. Let's make like nostalgic pop somehow. And you know, that's how Nauseous came about. So it was written in real time. We were just kind of, what if we said it like this? What if we said it like this? Freestyling melody, and let's say this here and say this here, and then we listen to it and we go, okay, let's adjust. You know, that's kind of the process that we did with Nauseous, which is cool.
That was the first song you recorded in a studio, you said?
Yeah, we recorded the verse. We did the re-recordings in a studio at a really, really dope studio, which was cool.
You could hear the value in that production, though.
Yeah.
That it felt like it stuck out a little bit versus some of your catalog.
Yeah.
That album you just spoke on, I don't want to let that pass by. That hasn't been released?
No.
The new concept or the new project?
No, nothing of it's come out. When does this come out?
To be determined.
Okay.
Probably early 2025.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll talk on it like all this is happening now.
Cool.
Dude, my single's coming out.
Y'all heard? Okay. All right. So tell us about it, bro.
Well, the album, I'll just go ahead and say the album name. But the album is called LOL, I Swim Real Good, I Swear It. And it's LOL, I Swim Real Good, I Swear It. And it bleeds into I Got Dumped, here's an EP, LOL. So it's like LOL, here's the meat and potatoes between it.
Yeah.
But LOL, I Swim Real Good, I Swear It, which was the first thing I came up with the project, was the title. And yeah, so the album is just about like when I was a young kid, hence the clips of me as a kid. When I was a young kid, I didn't know how to swim, and every time I saw a pool, I would jump in. Like, my mom would turn it back for a second, I'm jumping in the pool, because I thought like I was like a superhero. I'd see all these people on TV do it, and I just wanted to be like, you know, I just thought I could do this, and I'd always just sink. And so so my mom put me in swimming lessons, and I hated swimming lessons because they were scary, and I stopped jumping into pools. And that was my way of like letting the real world start getting to me. I'm jumping in pools. I'm a dumbass little kid, but you know, I'm a dumb kid. But slowly and over time, as I just started getting adjusted to the real world, I still kept my creative wonder to me. And so the concept was written as like a way of how I navigated keeping my creativity intact when everything was beating me down around me. And you know, so that's what the concept of the album is. And by the time you're hearing this, my next single is called "Looking for Sarah," and we've been doing a lot of stuff with "Looking for Sarah," dude. We've been doing a lot of work on "Looking for Sarah." It's definitely a hit. It's definitely the hit of the project, I think. And if it's not, then come back and send me this video and just shame me for it. But
or at least help it blow up. Like, do
do that.
Oh my God, Chandler.
I'm still self-conscious, remember?
You can't just rely on your guy Pubes that we'll talk about. If you don't know about his content, we get some research done.
Landon Wexler loves my pubes.
It's a caterpillar. Oh shoot, that sounds awful.
It grows up the shaft.
Even worse to say it was like a furry caterpillar too. So let's.
You have to crop it in right now.
Definitely. So Sarah being your girlfriend's name, right?
Yeah.
How long have you guys been dating?
We've been dating since August of 2023. So August 2023. So over a year we've been dating, and you know, just one of those like you find the one and you're like, this is for sure the one. And yeah, very special. And it's like, oh, this is what I've been looking for my entire life is a Sarah. And so
hence you wrote a song looking for Sarah.
Hence looking for Sarah, you know. So but yeah, that's yeah, it's going to be like one of the leading things from the project. I'm super excited about that record. I think it's a very strong record. And like, it's one of those that I do them at shows, and now I've done it at like 4 or 5 shows, I think, probably more than that Oh yeah, way more than that. But every time I do a show, people are screaming the lyrics to it, and the song's not out. And I'm like, yeah, this is a good sign for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
dude. I've seen you perform twice so far, and you seem to love performing.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
You feel yourself, and when you're singing and being you, the crowd answers back.
They do.
I have
Yeah.
video that we're gonna definitely put in here where you sing some. I pan to the people, and they're singing it right along, and I pan back to you, and you're just in the zone.
Yeah, I love it. I used to be so nervous performing. I used to be one of those guys that I would I would sit there and I would just kind of get stiff, and I would perform with tracks. And earlier this year, I was with my buddy August, and he was like, yeah, I want to perform with a full band. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, let's make that a goal for this year, for you to perform with a band. Then we were at the Ernie show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ernie.
Shout out Ernie.
We were at the Ernie show, and I just performed, and there was a guy here, his name was Liam, and Liam was like, yo, I'd love to do drums for you. And I was like, cool, that sounds great. And I talked to my buddy August. I was like, yeah, dude, like, he wants to do drums. And he was like, then let's do it, dude. You could perform with a band. And I was like, yeah, that could be cool. I didn't realize how much energy, like, you get the energy from the crowd, you get the energy pushed at you. And, you know, next thing you know, it's like, you know, it went from like me being kind of awkward. And when you perform with a track, you have to really be on. And when you perform with a band, they can just match the energy and but yeah, it just makes it so fun. And it's like, it feels like it's the reward of seeing your music pay off. And you know, you make all the music, you go through all the stuff, you do all the marketing for it, and then you do the shows, and it's just like a playground on stage, and everybody's having fun. You know, whether it's 5 people or 50 people or 100 people, whatever it may be. Hopefully by the time you guys hear this, I've done my first arena tour. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, absolutely. AAC, Dickies Arena.
That's right.
We're putting that into the ether, by the way.
Yeah, we're pushing that out. Yeah, but no, it's fun, dude. It's a lot of fun, and it's yeah. I feel like I'm on fire doing it, and you know, it's my big passion. And I hadn't performed with the band until this year, 2024. So yeah. It's really cool.
Man, I'm hoping to see more of that. I think,
Thank you.
Yeah, the live performance aspect. I feel like a lot of big artists are incorporating live bands. I mean, considering Tiny Desk, dude, that feel is so cool where you're just in the zone, and there's something magical that happens between you and the band.
Totally.
That you guys are able to match each other's vibes and Dude. And then, okay, so your creative journey started, you talked about from when you were like 11 years old.
Yeah.
What did you start with? Like, what was creatively your thing?
So I was really, when I was a little kid, I was really obsessed with Shane Dawson and Smosh. And I wanted to like make videos. So I started making videos, and I just made all these videos all the time. And then when I was in 2010, my 2 buddies, Jared and Parker, came over to my house. I think they were at my house. I was in 7th grade, and I've drank since then. But they came over to my house, and they're like talking about how they love rap. And I think Parker's dad had gotten him into like Beastie Boys and stuff like that. I'm not sure. But they showed me Eminem. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't like rap. They were like, listen to this song. They showed me like Love the Way You Lie. It was like 2010, rollout had just begun for Eminem's Recovery album. And I was like, nah, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's like, it's, you know, they showed me all this stuff. And I was like, no, I don't like this. This music sucks, you know, being 12. And then they showed me Eminem's song from Encore, Ass Like That. And immediately I started writing. And I was like, oh my God. And I started writing alternate verses to Ass Like That. And I was just spiraling out in my head like, oh my God, Ass Like That. Like, this dude's so serious, but he can still be fun. Like, that was the first time I'd seen music where it was like, you can have some of the most gut-wrenching, sad music, or you can have like the most angry and violent music. And at that point, it didn't scratch a part of my brain. And then he also had like a goofy side. Little did I know they were drug-fueled. But,
right.
You know, but yeah, so I fell in love with writing music because of Ass Like That. But I was always singing little songs or writing little songs when I was little. My mom always tells us stories of how I'd be, if I was combing my hair, I'd sing that I'm combing my hair. I'd brush my teeth and sing that I'm brushing my teeth, these little songs. But when it came to like I'm diving in, I want to do this, it was Eminem's Ass Like That. That's what started my real creative journey. And from then on, that seed was planted, and I was like, now I don't have a film crew, so I can learn how to make my own videos, and I can make my own music videos. So I have all these little music videos from when I was like 11, 12 on my YouTube channel, and it's just me figuring out. I have like joke songs. I have these like songs that are, they're complete goofy jokes. And then one of my friends in 8th grade had passed away. And I didn't know how to cope with it. And so I made a song, because that was like how I knew how to do it, how to cope, was I made a little song about it. And that was just, from then on, everything, it was like it flipped a switch in me, because I felt like once I was done, I had it and I recorded it on the IMT Paint app. I don't know if you remember the IMT Paint app.
That just auto-tunes you, right?
Yeah.
That was gold.
Yeah. With the IMT Paint app, it flipped a switch, and I was like, this is something that this can be therapy. This is something that is like tangible evidence that writing can heal you. And so from then on, I just like, I wrote every day and I rapped every day. And then when I needed some kind of consolation or something, it was just always, hip hop or listening to Eminem, and I was able to write and actually express myself. And that was where I found my voice completely.
You found like a therapy in creating.
And so young too, like, so young. It was and it never changed. That relationship with it never changed, which is good.
Dude.
And
it's beautiful how you've carried that, and now you've talked about heartbreak, now you're talking about love and finding Sarah, and that's a special outlet. And I think artists, that's probably, you talk about artists that the big time artists talk about their come up, talking about the tough things they've been through, and then writing it, talking about it is like healing, and they become like a whole healed person through it. So it's pretty dang cool that you found that at 11 years old. And you were rapping. I was rapping, dude. I was rapping. I was always rapping. I annoyed my parents with it. I knew it too. I knew at the time too. I was like, I'm annoying the hell out of them. But I was like, I was obsessed with the syllable work of it all. I was pretty bad at school. But I was always good in English when it came to like the poetry stuff, because I always excelled with that. Just because I was like, oh, this is the thing that, like, if I lose everything in my life, this is what I have, and this is what I'll always have, And that's something that I think, not to be like braggadocious, but I think that's something that with like a lot of the TikTok artists, they don't have a lot of longevity, because I've talked to a lot of TikTok people who do the music stuff, and they're like, it's passive income. And I'm like, see, I want music, like I want to make music more than I want my next breath, And so that's the thing that I think separates me a lot from it, is like, if I lose everything, you put away all the followers, if I lose everything and I lose everyone, I'm just by myself, I have the music. And that's my love right there, is the music. And I think a lot of people don't have that relationship with it. They're like, I want to rip arenas, and I'm gonna like see you at the Grammys, and this, and like I'm gonna do a Grammy speech, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm like, nah, dude, I need it, and I have it, and that's I think a big thing. It's a sustainable fuel source.
Totally.
Because you can't write your Grammy speech before writing your first song.
Totally.
100%. You a Logic fan at all?
Logic?
Yeah.
I like Logic. I used to be like huge in the Rat Pack. Rat Pack Visa?
Yeah, bro.
I was very involved in the community.
Your big influence of Eminem, John Bellion.
Yeah.
That's a good range, but both of those artists are killer rappers. They rap real well.
Yeah.
I think the people who've listened to your catalog, there isn't a lot of rap.
No, there isn't rap.
So you listen to rap in your free time.
Yeah.
I've heard you rap. Mm-hmm. It's a bop, bro. I enjoy you rapping. Do we see that happening, or do we see that being more of the projects in the future?
I don't know. Here's my thing. I love rapping. I got really good at singing my hooks. I love rapping. I love rap, but I'm better at singing than I am rapping. So for that reason, I'd rather sing a verse than rap a verse because I know singing the verse will be better. And that's kind of something I had to really come to terms with. As far as in the future, I do want to have a separate rap persona. That seems to be where my bag is. Like, I can really keep my pen sharp while I'm working on other things, and but yeah, go by a different persona. Like between my 2017 project and my 2021 project, in 2019 I did this project called Low Tank, and I'm thinking about going into a different thing and just having fun with hip hop, you know. And that's my thing. But yeah, as far as that goes, I think the closest we'll get to rap in my Chandler Cooper catalog is probably New Chevy, because New Chevy's got thought I decided maybe this is a shady lie, you know. But I'm not sure. I was only rapping and singing the hooks, and I just got too good at singing the hooks in my opinion. I was like, the hooks are better than the whole song. The verses aren't memorable, so why not try to make everything catchy, you know? And that's kind of where I went on that kind of journey in 2017. After I made my project Clement, which it came out in 2017. It's now off everything, but yeah, that's yeah. I wish that there's certain times I have to fight it, because everything I write out is hip hop at first, and then I just kind of form it.
But like John Bellion, I think it's safe to say he's maybe a better singer than he is a rapper.
Totally,
you know. Is there any part of you that's like, let's hit that?
You know what? Okay, so I'm wanting to do an extended version, like an expanded edition of this project I'm working on. I Swim Real Good, I Swear It. I'm really thinking about it. Like, I'm really considering the same level quality, but with some like crazy, like even no hook hip hop, and just as a warning, because I'm a pop guy, you know.
But what a cool mix of genres.
Yeah.
I think that was something that John Bellion, I think that's a connecting element for a lot of fans. They love the fact that he can do it all.
Totally,
and
yeah.
Make you feel, and you know, and he tells a story with his bars and whatnot.
Totally, yeah, absolutely. Let me give the kid just a little help. Tell him money is not the key to wealth. Yeah.
Bingo, bro. That we love the Chandler Cooper music now. I think that'd be really cool to see down the line.
Yeah, dive into it a little bit. I think I would have to do something with the rap. If I was gonna release the rap, it would need to be something that's as good as my pop stuff. So it would need to be really against the grain experimental. That would be probably where that lies. If it works, it works, and that's what I go into it. I'm always down to try stuff. I think like even my song Used To had a rap verse on the original one. It was like, I know you want me back, I don't need that. Why can't you just see that you're not my type? But you know, we ended up going with all these. You know, every song I do, there's like 10 different verses, and we pick what's the best verse typically. But yeah. I'd be lying if I said that I don't like sometimes crave the rap in my own music, you know.
I'd be lying as a fan if I said I didn't crave it, you know. But you know,
I want to keep this on the back burner when I'm making some music, because I do think about it a lot. That's my roots, man.
Hell yeah, bro. On that note, in your Hotheads interview, you talked about wanting to be the master of all genres.
Yeah.
Quote on that. That's so there's still plenty of room for you to branch out and whatnot.
Yeah, I was nice and cocky in that interview. I was sitting there with my mustache, like, dude, I was just leaning back.
Chill vibes, man.
I love Hotheads, man. Hotheads was dope. That was a great chapter of my life. They actually funded Hotheads, who's 20 After 4. It's a vape shop, vape and CBD shop. I don't vape or CBD myself, but I used to, and I actually worked with them on their YouTube channel, and they like funded the Away From Me video. Hotheads,
dude, and that's
really cool.
It's a badass video, and everything, man.
Hotheads is awesome. But yeah, I just kind of I'm tired of seeing people who are like the jack of all trades but the king of none, and I'm like, yeah, I want people on their toes every time I drop. I just dropped Nauseous. Nobody expected it. Nobody expected like that, and then I just want people to be like, oh, Chandler's dropping. Oh, he's teasing something. What is it? And then they just get like, maybe they get hit with a hip hop record. They just don't know. It's not like, one thing I pride myself in is you can't listen to my music and say all of it sounds the same. He's one of those musicians who all of his stuff sounds the same. And that's what I try to keep. I try to keep everything better than the last and also fresher. You know, so that's what I try to experiment with.
I think that's picked up in the music.
Yeah.
I feel like the jack of all trades, master of none is almost how artists can survive now.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to be able to do it all.
Yeah.
And you do it all. Like you do, you have help like production wise and whatnot, but you write all your own stuff generally, right?
Yeah. I have every song I do, I kind of open the door for a lot of people to help. When I work with Jaden Gray, he knows what's better for the song. So a lot of the times we just trust each other, me and Jay. And so we'll probably split a song about 50-50, and then I'll tell him the concept that I'm thinking of for the song, and we'll adjust from there. And so but yeah, there's been a few songs that I've done that they're almost 100%ers on the writing for sure. And all my hip hop stuff, I don't let anyone touch that. You know, I'm like, if I'm rapping, I'm saying what I wrote. And but yeah, when it comes to, there's definitely been some stuff that I'm like, you know, I've written most. Away From Me was one of those like lightning in a bottle. Away From Me was a lightning in the bottle, wrote super quick, and quick doesn't always mean good. You know, some people are like, yo, I made this in 10 minutes. And I'm like, dude, I can tell that you made this in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you know, I love writing. That's my thing. Is before I was a vocalist, I was just a writer, and I was just writing raps and kind of sound tone deaf, but that's what it was.
It's part of that learning process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's talk about your content now. We're talking about Chandler Cooper on TikTok, Instagram. We're also talking about SBPP2, which, for the record, is Susan Bennett's Pay Pig.
Yeah,
I had to look up what a pay pig was.
Yeah, yeah.
It's something, bro.
You look up who Susan Bennett is?
Yeah, you mentioned she's the voice of Siri.
That's right, yeah.
Well, hey, man.
He's like, hello, I'm Susan Bennett. Yeah.
Well, tell me about life as as SBPP2, bro.
So when I was in California and I was like 17, I was with my buddy Cody, and girls would like look at him because he's a handsome guy, and I would do this thing which now, and I'm very vocal about this. Me and my friends, we all called it brain rot. And now brain rot's the big term this year, but brain rot isn't like skibbity toilet riz. That's what they did. But when I was doing brain rot, and we called it brain rot, it's like an improv kind of thing. We would the brain rot was like just kind of letting this madness take over you. And every time like these girls would like look at Cody, I would like start slapping myself in the face, and I'd go, Susan Bennett, you know, like just kind of like when Steve Carell gets his chest hair waxed and he goes, Kelly Clarkson, but like that level of like insanity to it. And I just found out that Susan Bennett was a voice actor who provided the voice of Siri and did all these different things, all these commercials, and I was like, oh, this is cool because I love acting, you know. So I was like very super niche, and I found out there's this guy named Norman Slave Pig, and so I made a Finsta account because I've always had like an Instagram that was like, all my stuff has always been pretty public because I've started so young. And so I made a Finsta account called Susan Bennett's Pay Pig as like a reference to Cody, because Cody was like one of the only people who followed that account. And then when I was making my Chandler Cooper stuff, I went on this marketing thing where I acted like this certain character, and I couldn't talk and I couldn't do all this stuff. I was like waiting to unveil like the music, and I started this whole marketing ploy, and I was like, man, I just don't really have the freedom to like create like what I want to create. I'm just making these videos that I don't really think are all that funny anymore. And my buddy was like, dude, just make like a Finsta for TikTok. He was like, you know, and then one of my other friends told me I wasn't going to have as much success because I'd been on social media for so long that like my account was already, you know, I started from scratch. And so I started with 0 followers. I made Susan Bennett's Pay Pig. No caption, no hashtags ever, just spam posting. Like if you saw it, you're meant to see it. Yeah. And no captions or anything like that. And then it got banned because I always showed my bare ass. So
it's against policy.
Yeah. So then I made Susan Bennett's Pay Pig 2 the second it got banned, so that's where that came from. I just wanted to spam post as much as I could,
and it blew up.
Yeah, it sure did. It blew up. It was definitely has its little spot in pop culture. Brendan Janetti said that, and I'm like, oh, that's my personality now. Is I'm gonna say this exact thing that you said. But
quote it.
Yeah.
And I talked to you before a show at Ruins a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I kind of shared with you like how cool it is that you're able to put your rawness out there and just like be unapologetic and whatnot. But you told me that the character that you created has helped you a lot, but it started with something pretty meaningful, right?
Yeah. So my sister always loved jokes that took too long to hit the punchline, and when I would react as like an inside joke, I would react to things like this. You know, someone would say something that's like really fucked up, and I just go,
Y'all know the face.
yeah, that's the face. And she had experienced, her boyfriend had passed away, and she was really upset, and I was trying to make a video. I was always insecure about my body hair and stuff, and I'd always puff out my stomach, and it always made her laugh no matter what, because if someone would scare me, I'd puff out my stomach, just only this part, because I don't know how to puff out the rest of it. And her boyfriend had passed away, and, you know, so I just made a video that I thought would make her laugh and try to help her get out of the slump. This was in 2021. And so basically what ended up happening was I made a video just to make her laugh, and I posted it, and I wanted the TikTok logo on it to send it to her. I posted it, but she was asleep, so I wasn't going to text her because, you know, she was going through some shit. And by the time I went on to it the next day, it was viral. And I hadn't had very much. I had some luck on TikTok, but it was few and far between. And so then I was like, okay, well, I'll just keep doing this, because obviously it works, and, you know, made her crack up. And so I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Then I was like, okay, well, this is going to be music marketing now, you know. And so that's where that started with.
And how cool that like you were able to even improve your own body image through being silly and having fun and becoming quite the artist with a pair of clippers.
Yeah, and the other thing with that too is it's like, when people are making fun of your body, they're making fun of your body, but when they're making fun of the body on a character you've created, then it's not as personal. And, you know, you kind of take ownership of that. And I was always insecure. I've been through so much laser hair removal. Obviously, it didn't work.
Well, hey, man, it's a gift.
Dude, thank God it didn't work, man.
No kidding, but it's a gift.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is.
And dude, that's super cool. So you found music is the way you can convey, you know, life experiences, and now with your own body, you've been able to make something more comfortable out of it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people at home, I'm sure, find comfort in that as well.
Totally. I get a lot of messages of people just outpouring so much support, and like I get a lot of messages of people being like, that's something I was always insecure about, but I'm not as much anymore, and like blah blah blah. I say blah 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 blah. If you've ever sent me one of those messages, I don't think of it as blah 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 blah.
Meaningful.
But it's meaningful, and that like sometimes I've gotten some of those messages, and I'm just like, ooh, whoa, dude. Also, if you've gotten this far into the interview, go ahead and type bananas. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see who to follow back, dude.
Yeah, dude. Man, that's an awesome story. I think that's really cool how art is able to help you through that. Last one question I had to ask.
Sure, yeah.
Your dad is part of a lot of your videos.
Yeah.
And as an artist, you've experimented, you've had fun. They must be really supportive.
They are. They're very supportive. And the big thing with my dad is people think that I convinced my dad to do these things. But when I started blowing up on TikTok, doing the character, my dad's sitting there and he's just looking into his beer and he goes, I want in. I said, want in what? He's like, I want to blow up. I want you to make me viral. Let's do it. I said, okay, dude. Just take your shirt off, I guess. Act like this. And then he just does a robot.
Dude.
But yeah, it was his idea, you know, too. But yeah, they're very supportive. My dad was part of a music group when he's from Guatemala. He was born and raised, and he was part of a group called Black Fever, and there's a soca music, I guess. But he wasn't able to spread his wings and fly and do his music stuff like he wanted to. And because of that, he kind of, he doesn't hold me back at all. He's like, he pushes me for anytime I'm feeling like doing this process, it's not all happiness and, you know, whatever. And like throughout the process of my like molding stages and figuring out what I want to do, he's like, dude, you're a musician, you know. And it's been great having such a great support system. That's something I never have taken for granted. I'm very blessed to be in the position that I'm in and having the people around me who support me that do. Because I mean, even in the times when it was no one, it was still my mom and dad. You know, even when it was hip hop, they're like, we don't like it. We don't like hip hop, but you know, we don't like you rapping and saying fuck this and fuck that. But at the same time, you know, if that's your thing, that's your thing, you know.
An artist has to do it, and that support makes all the difference.
Totally.
Heck yeah, man. Well, here's to supportive family, supportive fans. People, you got to support Chandler Cooper. You find him on all platforms at Chandler Cooper.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And then, of course, SBPP2 if you're
That's right.
into the comedy.
SBPP News!
I got to apply to be a SBPP News reporter if that's
dude,
cool.
that would be fucking amazing, dude.
Let's get it, bro.
That would be unreal.
Heck yeah, man. Follow Chandler. His music's incredible. He's got a new project coming out early 2025.
Yep.
I Can Swim Real Good, I Swear.
LOL, I swim real good, I swear it.
Fantastic. Stream it, listen to it, check his content out. Big shout out to Trend Studios again for having us. Yeah. Chandler, thanks for making it happen,
dude,
man.
Thank you so much for having me, dude. It's been nice.
Absolutely, dude. And we'll see y'all soon.